Hey guys, I'm really sorry, but there's not going to be an e-bike review this week. I had a really cool electric bike coming as well, but I've just got a call from the delivery man saying that as he was pulling the bike out of the van, this giant man commandeered the bike, rode off of it, and basically shouted, "I'm so back." I'm not sure what that's about, but whoever he is, I hope he's enjoying the bike.
Hello, Electroheads. This incredibly orange contraption is the Engwe EP2 Boost, and I have to admit, I find it a bit confusing. You see, Engwe says that this is a folding, all-terrain e-bike designed specifically for urban delivery, and that's a lot of things. Now, fat tyre e-bikes like this have become a very common sight on the streets of London. They are adored by delivery riders. To be honest, I've never completely understood why. Were they expecting to encounter a random sand dune while riding through Camden? So, job for today, figure out why bikes like this are so damn popular, and see if this one in particular is any good. If you don't know me, my name's Jack. You may have seen me on the Fully Charged show where I mostly do electric car reviews, but back in the day, I was one of the very first Electroheads. Feels good to be back. B-roll! The EP2 Boost is the latest addition to Engwe's extensive lineup of predominantly fat-tyred e-bikes. At the time of recording, it costs £949. That puts this comfortably at the more affordable end of the all-terrain e-bike spectrum. The folding frame comes in one size and three colours, grey, black, or this very orange, which I'm very much enjoying. The bicycle hardware is of decent quality, but reflects the lower price point. Ah, buddy, come on, it's not that cheap. It's a conventional chain drive with 7-speed Shimano gears, a Tawny derailleur, and mechanical 180mm disc brakes. The e-bikey bits are more impressive. There's a juicy 624 watt-hour removable battery, boasting a claimed range of up to 75 miles. Power, which is sent to the rear wheel, is of course limited to 250 watts per EU regulations, and is hooked up to a torque sensor for super smooth pedal assist. There's a nice super bright LCD display. There's also a boost mode. More on that later. Some features one might especially appreciate if using this bike as a workhorse delivery vehicle include front and rear mudguards, a rear cargo rack, and a generous load capacity of 150 kilos. You also get integrated lights. Nice. And let's talk about those wheels. They're single-piece rims which Engwe says have superior durability, and I think look cool. But more to the point, they're wrapped in giant 20 by 4 inch tyres, which should provide genuine all-terrain capability and a nice cushioned, comfortable ride. Further aiding comfort is a wide, damped seat and a nice bit of front suspension. All of which is very nice to have, but comes at the cost of weight. At 30 kilos, this is one chunky bicycle. Speedy first impressions of this thing. First of all, great looking bike. Love the orange, don't mind the tribal design. I think those are sort of back in fashion these days. And it's got a real solidity to it. It's reassuringly sturdy in its construction, especially the foldy components, which is a relief. At first glance, there is nothing to indicate that this is one of the more budget fat tyre e-bikes that you can get your hands on. This is good to see as well. Super adjustable. I'm very tall, and I've been able to get this bike to a seating position that suits me dead easy, which is not usually the case for me on foldy bikes. What is also apparent right away is that this is a big, heavy bike. I do question just how useful that folding is going to be, given just how hefty it is. Anyway, we'll get to that. Let's go for a ride first. Okay, here we are, out on the road on the EP2 Boost. First impressions, squashy. I'm gonna admit it straight away, I immediately understand why bikes like this are so popular with people who sit on bicycles all day long for work. It's a completely different riding experience when you've got tyres like this. Proper magic carpet ride. It's so squashy, and potholes and imperfections in the road that would make your teeth bang together and hurt your bum on a normal bike. On this one, you barely even notice them. But it's not just comfort where those tyres are beneficial, it's stability too, because it's almost difficult to lean this thing over on its side. It just wants to be perfectly upright all the time. Immediately, I feel perfectly happy riding it with no hands. I won't now, because there's a car coming. But those tyres give you such wonderful stability. Here we go. Going to drive over a little manhole cover, pretend I'm not paying attention. Nothing. If you've been on your bike for 3-4 hours working, you might miss a pothole, you might miss a manhole cover, and that could send you over the handlebars on skinny tyres. But on this thing with these fat tyres, forget about it. I immediately concede to being wrong about thinking the whole fat tyre bikes for delivery riders thing was a bit pointless. I get it, this is lovely. And then when you couple that with this lovely wide squashy seat and that front suspension, it's like a sofa on wheels. As far as the bicycle bits, the gears, fine, slick. The brakes, yeah, they're okay. I'm a little bit surprised they've not gone with hydraulics for a bike as big and heavy as this. It would benefit from the extra stopping power, but if you squeeze hard enough, it does the job. It's a nice, commanding, confidence-inspiring riding position as well. I'm pretty high off the ground because I've had to get the seat right up in order to make it fit for me. But oftentimes on foldy bikes, you feel like you're a bit on stilts. It's all a bit wibbly-wobbly and skittish. Not the case here, partly because the wheels aren't little 16 inches, they're big, proper 20 inches, but more because of those big, fat, 4-inch wide all-terrain tyres. Once again, stability.
As for the pedal assist, I have to admit I was a little underwhelmed. For one, it wasn't as seamless as I would expect from a bike that uses a torque sensor. A good e-bike tricks your brain into thinking you're bionic, but here I was very aware of where I ended and the bike began. I also found the pedal assist to be surprisingly weak. Admittedly, at almost 95 kilos, I am a heavy load, but even on very slight upward inclines, I found myself having to use level 5, the highest assist setting, and still having to work quite hard myself.
The good news is there is a boost mode. That's what the B button's for. That's unique to this bike, the EP2 Boost. So, steep hill, level 5 not quite cutting it, press that button, and now I have 55 Newton meters of torque. Oh yes! All of a sudden, completely effortless. This is still completely in line with EU regulations. There's nothing illegal about this whatsoever. We're still under that 250 watt motor limit. It's just more torque. And what's great about this is, as you can see, there's no time limit. I can just mash that button for as long as I like. However long the hill is, that's how long I'll press it for. And just like that, lovely, we're at the top of a steep hill. What I will say is I do somewhat wish I had an assist setting that was somewhere between level 5, which I don't think is quite strong enough, and boost mode. Don't get me wrong, I like putting in a bit of effort on an e-bike. I like getting a workout in, but if I was to imagine riding all day long for work, I think I would want an assist level where I'm barely having to do anything. And I think if you were a delivery rider and you were using this bike, you'd spend a lot of time pressing that boost button.
Now then, let's talk about the folding and quote-unquote portability. It will come as no surprise to hear that the EP2 doesn't fold up especially small. There's no getting away from those giant tyres after all. What is a little surprising is that unlike a Brompton, for example, it in no way clips into position when folded, meaning it loves to unfold the moment you lift it up. And then there's the weight. 30 kilos is heavy, and that combined with the awkwardness of trying to keep it folded up means carrying this thing is no fun at all. This is not an e-bike you can easily slide underneath your table at the coffee shop or carry up a narrow flight of stairs to your apartment. What you can do, however, is chuck it in the boot of a car, meaning if you did want to take your EP2 Boost out of town to test the off-roading capabilities of those tyres, you easily could. Speaking of which,
now here's an area where this bike really comes to life. Light off-roading. Now look, I'm only on Hampstead Heath. This isn't exactly the Paris-Dakar, but it absolutely sails over rough, grassy, uneven terrain. Thanks to those big tyres, thanks to that suspension. It's a lot of fun, I have to say. Now, there's a couple of reasons why that's handy. Number one, it means if you are a delivery rider, that one really rainy or snowy day, you're going to be fine. You don't have to worry about slipping and sliding out on the road. You don't have to worry about a little bit of mud ruining your day, sending you over the handlebars. But it opens this bike up to a different sort of customer. It's not just for delivery riders. If you're someone who loves bombing around off-road trails of a weekend but don't have any near your house, well, this thing's perfect for you. Throw it in the back of the car, drive to where you want to ride around, enjoy your day mountain biking, chuck it in the boot when you're done. Couldn't do that if it didn't fold. Right, let's do a hill test. We're on uneven, grassy terrain. I'm in level 5 right now, and I'm having to work a little bit. Now, you see there, the bike is giving out on me, so I'm going to press that boost button and there we go. There's the boost, and now we're back in business. Now it's quite straightforward actually. So it has the torque, but I wish it was more like this more of the time. I wish there was a level 6 that was basically just like this, and I didn't have to be relying so heavily on that boost button to get up anything resembling a hill. Having said that, the bike can do it. It can do it just fine.
As for the real world range, it won't surprise you to note that given I barely took it out of level 5, I didn't get anywhere near the quoted max range of 75 miles. In fact, I got a little less than half that. But frankly, that isn't bad at all. Sure, it was a nice warm day, optimal temperatures for batteries, but I did also spend most of the day going up and down big steep hills, and I weigh about 1.5 Eilishes. I think it's more than enough range that if you were riding this thing all day long in the highest setting, you'd struggle to drain the battery before you got home.
So what's the verdict then? Do you know what? I think there is a lot to like about this bike, especially when you consider the very accessible price point. And I don't think it's perfect. It is brutally heavy, which limits the usefulness of its foldability. And I do have a bit of an issue with the pedal assist. I wish it was a bit stronger, so I didn't have to rely on that boost button so much. Personally, for this sort of bike, I'd also be willing to shell out a bit of extra money to get proper hydraulic brakes, given the weight of it. But, it's wonderfully comfortable. It's genuinely capable on all sorts of terrains. It looks fantastic. And the fact that it folds means if you're someone who wants to get out of town on a weekend, bomb around some trails, chuck it in the back of your car and drive back into the city, you can. On the whole, I think this is a really compelling entry-level all-terrain e-bike. So there we go, the Engwe EP2 Boost. I had a lot of fun making this. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Do make sure to subscribe to the Electroheads channel, follow us on socials, and we'll see you next time.